Hello, I have question number 1 of the 10 question collaboration. My name is Richard. My YouTube channel is Keto Home. I have been low carb for almost 10 years now. It started back in 2008 when I was in Iraq. I was a soldier in the United States Army. I still consider myself a soldier, even though I'm not. It'll always be in me. I was hurt in 2008. I was hit by a small roadside bomb, and it messed up my ACL and my MCL in both knees pretty much. The constant impact of the running and the heavy equipment being carried and stuff like that in the military is partially what did it. Now, I didn't know much about low carb. All I knew, I was interested in human anatomy, especially at that time I was curious about how females were so hormonal compared to men, so I started actually studying female anatomy before male anatomy. It's just something that fascinated me. And in my spare time, I would study hormone function and stuff like that, and the different process between estrogen and progesterone, the spike and fall, and how cycles and stuff can be affected, and did I say infected? Affected. But that's here and over there. Then I started studying testosterone production, testosterone release, the functionality of growth hormone and things like that in men and women. And nutrition kind of started getting pulled into that because it plays a huge factor in that. And after I got hurt, I didn't have anything to do. So that's what I wanted to do, is I just started studying. And I realized the nights that I would go to the gym and I would pound the weights really hard, my recovery would be just as fast if I didn't have all the grains and the carbohydrates and the starches and things of that nature. So I started experimenting with just meat, and literally for 1 month I had just meat, and I hit the weights really hard, and I consumed tons of whey protein. I stayed away from sugar and carbohydrates, and I started getting really, really nice gains. I didn't need carbohydrates and sugar, and I noticed that I actually started to feel better, so thus my low carb journey began. And I stayed low carb for years and years and years. Even before that, I was kind of low carb. I never was really keto, but I was low carb. And I just realized that I felt better off that. And then that really made me low carb once that kind of, the bell went off, the light kind of turned on, and I realized, wow, this is an amazing feeling. And then I just continued on, and then after the injury, I kind of gave up and didn't really care about life too much anymore, and a lot of depression, anxiety, PTSD. Several times I thought about taking my own life. Now, guys, don't take that as something to be sad about, because I'm a new man because of that. I'm glad that I went through those periods, because I've learned and I've adapted from that, and I realize now that I am the person I am because of those situations, so I don't regret it at all, and I feel like I have a purpose. So I want to help other people. I have a Facebook group called Keto Home, or Keto Nation Official. I have another one that I just started that I want YouTubers to help run. I don't want anybody to be in charge of it. I just want YouTubers to help run it. It's called Keto Sensations. And it's just all about us and helping new people. Every one of us have our own niche. Some of us are better with older people. Some of us are better in the female genre. Some of us are better at just being completely honest and open about it. Call it an asshole or whatever you want. But some of us are better at that, just saying, hey, why are you trying to make excuses to have junk shit treats and stuff like that when you don't need that kind of stuff? Sorry for my language, but I'm just being honest with you guys. Sorry if you have kids around. It's just one of those things where new people need to know the truth, and they don't need to hear it from people that don't respect the whole foods way of doing things, because we know ultimately that is the best way to eat. It's a whole food based diet without all the refined junk, without all the keto-fied treats and stuff in it. If we all could stick to a whole foods based way of doing it, we know we would do better for our body. Now, some of us choose not to do that because it's your journey and you choose what you want to do. It's not necessary to do that. With that being said, somebody asked me, how does sugar and artificial sweetener affect the body? Sugar is very inflammatory. Anytime you have sugar and refined carbohydrates going into your body, you have inflammation in the artery. Now, say you put fat behind that, and then you try to process fat, protein, sugar. Your body has a process of elimination. It's always going to be sugar, then refined carbohydrates. You're going to have your protein source to promote lean muscle mass, and then the fat is basically not going to get utilized. It's going to get packed away, and probably some of the sugar and refined carbohydrates as well. But through the process of consuming refined carbohydrates and sugar, you're going to probably have some small blockages throughout your lifetime from consuming all of this stuff at one time. And if you watch Thomas DeLauer's videos, he even talks about this. Be selective on what you have. Do not put your sugars and your carbs, if you do have them, with your fats. If you do choose to do that, make sure your body has you've been given ample time in between so your body can process them very efficiently. Sugar doesn't do anything for us. We actually create our own sugar via protein through a process called gluconeogenesis. We always have to have a small amount of glucose available in the body for certain functions. Your body will actually keep it up through protein sources. If you don't feed it enough protein, it'll actually pull from your muscle mass. Now, a lot of people are skeptics with this whole gluconeogenesis process. It's something that I do believe in. There are studies that state, gluconeogenesis is it's a very scientific, very factual process, but other people say, no, it doesn't happen like that. You be your own critic. I'm not a medical provider, I'm not a doctor. Your body can make its own sugar, so sugar is not actually necessary to have. Now, let's talk about the other one, artificial sweetener. Artificial sweeteners overall are generally safe on a glycemic index load. Now, maltodextrin, which is in sugar-free Jell-O, is probably the worst out of all of them, next to high fructose corn syrup, and there's like one or two others. Sugar-free Jell-O it's in there. Now, is that an end-all be-all? If you want to have your sugar-free Jell-O and that's what you do, then do you. But I'm telling you right now, you build up a structure inside the body that is not good for the body. All artificial sweeteners cannot be digested and consumed just like the next. Some of them build up in your system. Some of them will break down your gut microbiome. Some of them are not necessarily that kosher. Some of them are scientifically made with chemicals and things of that nature. Some of them are natural. Stevia, another one that doesn't completely get broke down and used. Some people call Splenda safe, and they'll use Splenda, but Splenda has like maltodextrin in it, it has like sucralose in it, it has like 3 different things to it. These artificial sweeteners are exactly what they are, artificial sweeteners. And when you consume your fat bombs and your keto coffees with it and put it in your food and stuff like that, sure, you're probably not going to gain weight. And for the most part, you don't have to worry about a terrible amount of blood glucose spikes until you get to some of the higher, like, I want to say like maltodextrin. I don't know if sucrose is one of them or something like that. But guys, my point here is you came into this journey because you wanted to clean up your act. You came into this journey because you wanted to break old habits. But I find that there's a lot of you that have actually been doing this for a while that are actually telling other people that it's okay to have all that stuff. It's okay to consume excessive amounts of, diet sodas and keto treats and keto breads and things like that. And we're trying to break a pattern of the way that you used to eat. And there's a lot of people out there that are still making excuses why people should still assimilate the food that they used to have with this more healthier keto-fied version. You're trying to step away from that so you don't have temptation to get that stuff. But yet we find YouTubers and keto groups and doctors and stuff that are still promoting it. They're still saying, go have it, guys. It's awesome. It's not going to spike your blood sugar. You're not going to get fat off of it and stuff like that. Go have it. But what are the long-term effects? What are the effects 10 years from now? What are the effects 15, 20 years from now? They don't know that stuff. They might look at survey studies to see it, but they don't actually know that stuff. Diet sodas affect a condition called PKU, phenylalanine. I think that's how you say it anyway. It's an amino acid that builds up in the brain. It creates mental issues. It's an amino acid that builds up in the brain and it creates mental issues. And when you have that buildup, the brain doesn't actually know what to do. It can cause anxiety problems, depression problems. It can cause all kinds of issues that you're not even aware of. So that's why if you flip around the cans with aspartame in it, you'll actually see something to the extent of phenylalanine or phenylammonia or something. I don't know what it is, but it'll actually say in bold letters on aspartame products that this could affect this condition. And even if you don't have this condition, it can still affect the depression, the anxiety, that portion of your brain. So you have to be very careful with this. The only artificial sweetener that I actually recommend, because of how natural it is and the mogercides and stuff in it, which I will post a link to the video. I want to post a glycemic video from Keto Connect. I want to post a video from a company or a guy that actually breaks down what monk fruit and stuff is for the Lakanto product, which Lakanto monk fruit is erythritol, and monk fruit, which is very safe for the body, very low glycemic. That is the #1 thing that I recommend. If you're going to use artificial sweetener, stevia is okay, but it doesn't get broke down. It's like in stages that it gets broken down. The xylitols, the maltols, the sorbitols, get rid of that junk. Like, seriously, anything that has anything to do with any of that, it's just my opinion, guys. Don't attack me for that. That's my opinion. I don't promote it, and I don't think it's a good idea, and you don't know what's going to happen to you. Right now, you may be losing all the weight in the world. You may be feeling great right now. What happens 10 years from now when you've taken so much of that, it's broken down your gut microbiome so much that now you can't digest things properly. Now you have joint issues coming back and skin issues and stuff coming back, and it all leads back to the stuff that you've been doing the last 10 years. Why not just break that habit and not take a chance and enjoy what God's given us on this great earth and eat whole food based stuff? Why have to add all the junk and stuff in there? It doesn't make any sense to me. It really doesn't, and more people out there are promoting it, and it just kills me. It kills me to see people do that, and they keep pushing new people towards that and thinking that it's okay. It's really bothersome to me. And I know everybody has their own view, but this is my view on this, and I really appreciate everything that everybody said to me, but there's a lot of people that I even deal with that I really love and I care about, and they're great friends, and it's just like, I don't understand. I don't understand why the lax for it. I don't understand why people aren't posting more about how you should actually go to whole food based. You don't need all the artificial sweeteners in your coffee and stuff like that. You don't need any of that. If you can't stand coffee with a little bit of cream or just straight black, then maybe you shouldn't drink it. Maybe you should find another caffeine source. Maybe you should take some caffeine pills instead you're basically doing the same thing. I just don't understand. It's one of those things where it upsets me sometimes, but I just deal with it, and I keep moving on because the people I deal with are great people, and I really care for them, and I like them. But it's not necessary, guys, and the best way to do this is a whole foods-based way to do this. There is a ton of side effects that come from artificial sweeteners, and then there's also the good part of them, that you can lose weight, that your glycemic index your glucose doesn't get spiked, that you don't have insulin spikes all the time in excessive amounts because of sugar. But you do have to realize the stuff that you take with these products do spike insulin, and it does have to get digested. And just like Thomas DeLauer said in one of his videos, a lot of artificial sweeteners will sit in the gut, and they take it forever to break down. They can't get processed and digested right away, and they absorb moisture, and they cause gut problems, and they cause gas issues, and it's just something that's not necessarily kosher. Even stevia, that I love so much, doesn't get broken down by the body right away. So that's why I'm saying if I would recommend anything, because it does help work on gut health, I would say monk fruit, if you can get it pure, if not from Lakanto, where it has erythritol in it. But guys, I would prefer to see people not do any of it at all. It's just really important to worry about you. Don't always try to go for this keto fat bombs and all this other stuff, guys. It's about you. It's about you. It's about your journey, and you don't know what you're doing to yourself 10 years from now. You know what you're doing to yourself now, but you don't know how this stuff's going to affect you 10, 15 years from now. So try to keep it whole food, guys. Try to keep it safe. Try to keep it simple. Enjoy what's given to you. Enjoy the nutrition aspect of it. Enjoy what you're putting in your mouth, and you know how it's going to benefit and build you and grow you. Artificial sweeteners do not do that. Alright, guys. In the description box, I will post many links for some things that I want you to look at. Glycemic effect from Keto Connect. There's going to be a video from Thomas DeLauer There's going to be a couple medical studies that talk about the pros and the cons of it. There's going to be a medical study that says artificial sweeteners don't have any effect on health at all, and that is pretty much safe for you across the board, which we know that's silly. But I'm going to give you these articles and these options, and I want you to see for yourself. It's been fun, guys. I really appreciate all the support. I love being here for you guys. I love having the debates. I even love getting into the little arguments and stuff, going back and forth, because we're so passionate about what we do. Let's keep doing this. Let's keep it keto and bring it back to Keto Home. Bring it back to your channel. Bring it back to your Facebook groups and share this, share this, share this. This is a 10-question collaboration, and you will not regret this. Let's network, guys. Let's keep doing these things. Let's get out there and teach people about keto. Let's teach people how to heal themselves, and let's teach people how to live life through nutrition, their family, and God, and just be one with each other. I really appreciate it, and thank you for everything that you do. If you're not a subscriber, if you're new, please hit that subscribe button. You will not regret it. Hit the bell notification. I network with tons of great people, and you're going to meet some awesome people through Keto Home. And I just, guys, I appreciate everything. Thank you. Keep it keto.